lot.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot going on there. I don't know if he's quite ready. Still overweight. And not being in camp, that's a huge learning curve. I mean, especially for an offensive lineman. So, hopefully this off season they get his weight down, keep it under control. He's got great feet. He's good talent. I just don't think he was ready. And, subsequently we've got Roland in there who can't stop a speed rusher. So, they've got a lot of work to do this offseason.
Joe, one question about the defense I have, and obviously I think the defense for the most part throughout the season was really kind of the stalwart of this team. I mean, it played pretty darn solid. I love Mike Zimmer. The question, I guess, first and foremost, are you going to be able to keep Zimmer? Is he going to be able to go somewhere else? But one thing on defense was Maualuga, did he mean that much? And obviously the rotation, Pat Sims went out. But boy, it seemed like, I guess the most disturbing thing to me, Joe, with the Jets was the Jets basically said, we're going to run it. Mm-hmm. And they did. I mean, it's not like, and now they did, and the defense was awful on the pass fake. I mean, Mark Sanchez, the rookie, looked like a 10-year veteran on Saturday. Should we be concerned down the stretch about the defense?
No, I don't think so. If Zimmer stays, no, not at all. I think he's got this core group of guys. You get Maualuga back, you add another defensive tackler, well, actually a pass rusher to the mix. Losing Odom hurt him tremendously as well. So, I like the way this defense plays. I don't think they had help from their offense all year long. I think they were on the field way too much for as good of one of the better defenses that we've had around here in a long time. If our offense would have been clicking, we would have been a pretty daggone good team. So I like the way this defense is made up. Do I like the way they've played down the stretch? No. But the more I thought about it, and I thought about it a lot yesterday, they've had a lot of injuries, a lot of banged up. I mean, you had Pecco out for a while. Yep. Crocker's been banged up all year. I just think that you didn't have your core group of guys in there, Maualuga. And Jets they were killing them with the run. I mean, there were two great play calls to throw in there from the Jets. Knew exactly how to play against them, and they got them all suckered up in there. And that's, it's a learning curve for this defense. You got to remember they're a relatively young defense too. So, especially under Zimmer. So I like the way this defense plays. They've got a lot of stuff to work on, but I think the biggest focus this year has got to be your offense. And you got to figure out what you're going to do with your kicker, because if you miss two field goals like that back to back, that just kills you, especially with a veteran kicker.
I don't think they have to figure out what to do. I think he's gone.
Now, Joe, let me ask you. You brought up though the original comment you made, and I agree with this. I talked to a buddy of mine yesterday, and he said, are you surprised? He goes, the Bengals are just losers. And it's hard to argue. I mean, since 1990, they've yet to win 2 appearances in 2005 and over the weekend. They've yet to win a playoff game. I guess my question, though, Joe, is, the upper administration, the front office, if you will, that's not going to change. Now, Marvin Lewis, naturally, 10-6, you win the division. I get that. But boy, I just don't see from that perspective, how do you change that? I don't know whether it's a perception, just the aura of losing. How do you change that?
I don't know, Tom. I mean, heck, it hasn't happened in 19 years. I mean, I don't know how to change that.
General manager,
if your management isn't going to change, you've got a halfway decent coach in Marvin Lewis who's done, for the most part, a fair job for this team. I don't know. There's something fundamentally wrong at the top, and I can't put my finger on it until it changes. And I don't know if that's Mike Brown stepping down, which is never going to happen, and letting the kids run it. I don't know if that happens, if the kids are going to have a change in it. You got to think that somewhere down the road, it's got to be important to these people to put a winning product on the field for the city of Cincinnati, for the fan base that they have. I mean, this fan base is just unbelievable. I can't believe we sold out every game, although we had some help. These folks are they're starving for a winning team around here, and Mike Brown just doesn't get it. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Well, you know what? You bring up a good point, and this will be my final comment, and it's more of an invitation to you, Joe. I've got friends that say, well, we're just happy that, last year we didn't give up our season tickets. We're happy that it went this way this year, and we just want them to be competitive. I want, from a former member of the organization standpoint, to all those people who continue to buy those tickets, if you could say anything to them, what would it be?
You hate to say it, but hang in there. I mean, hopefully they're going to do something. I mean, I hate for the stadium to be empty, but maybe that's what Mike Brown needs to see. I don't want to say that needs to happen, But something needs to happen to wake somebody up to put a product on the field that's going to win for this town of Cincinnati.
Yeah. I only have one final question. Were you ever made to stand in an electrical closet when you were at Texas Tech?
No, I wasn't. I didn't even know there was an electrical closet.
Do you remember? Did they have
They didn't have electricity back then.
Say, did they have that? Did they have that? Did they have that little shed?
Yeah, there you go.
Did they have that?
Fun.
Did they have that little equipment shed right off the practice field? Do you remember that? Did you ever get wedged in there?
That whole place has changed since I've been there. I mean,
really?
Our practice field was for the state playoffs with Midland, Lee, and Odessa Permian. Our practice field was a helipad, so no, there wasn't any place for a shed out there.
All right, what do you think of all that? Good God.
Man, I don't. You know what? I got to tell you, Craig James got to leave well enough alone. Something's actually gone on. If you got some coaches griping about the kid, he's actually a punk or something like that. You got to let the coach do his job, and if you got a parent getting in their way and, you know, trying to throw their weight around like a Craig James, I would have probably done the same thing. I mean, the kid had a concussion. He thought he was doing the right thing, putting him in a dark spot, maybe the wrong dark spot. But if the kid's a punk, you got to do what you got to do to get a point across.
All right, Big Joe, go back to your equipment shed, all right, man? We appreciate it.
You know what? I'm going there, baby.
All right, see ya. Joe Walter, former Bengal right there. You know what? It is interesting, though, isn't it? The mindset of a former, you know what? Back in the day, getting sent to the shed wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. You didn't want to get sent to the shed. You could get sent to the shed.
Practice on a helipad because they had to get the high school teams in there for the state football final practice. You got to love that. Big Joe Walter will check in with Paul Doherty of the Inquirer and Cincinnati.com and SI.com for that matter coming up at 8:05. Right now, let's get a check of the latest 96 Rock traffic. How we looking, Sally?
Not good. 75 South, still a parking lot from almost St. Rita's to an accident just past Paddock. Only the left lane is open. Now, there was a car that went under a semi. It's been towed away, but the semi must not be able to move. It's still there. From Sharon to the Lateral, about a 40-minute delay. If you want to go to 71, 275 East, that's fine. 71 is crowded, though, from Field Zirtle to Pfeiffer, but it is better than the 40-minute delay going the other way. Walton's ramp to get onto 75 North. There's a 5-car wreck there, pretty much blocking the entire ramp. Some people are driving through the snowy grass to get around it onto the highway, but police are going to block that soon. Wouldn't recommend it. Westwood Northern Boulevard, just before Baltimore, the right lane is blocked by an accident. Dorchester at Auburn, a Metro bus wreck. In North College Hill, an accident. Hamilton Avenue, it's near Galbraith. The southbound lanes of Hamilton are blocked. If you see anything else, Angie's at 241 Cars, 241-2277. Snow showers later today, accumulation up to an inch possible, otherwise cloudy and a high near 29. Tomorrow, flurries and then partly sunny with a high 31. Wednesday, mostly clear and a high 37. Right now, it's cloudy and 19.
All right, 7:19. I am Gamble. He is Finn.
I'm Sister Karen. It's Puddle of Mud.
On Cincinnati's Pure Rock, 96 Rock. 7:26. Sorry, I didn't mean to get caught singing my doodle-eat. You got to hear the Wild Man yesterday, though. I tell you what, there's
like hearing the Chipmunks version of him doing it.
There's nothing more beautiful, though, than getting up on the weekend mornings, and he's all of a sudden you just hear this like, he's all these yells. He's doing the wee fit boxing. Oh, he's in there, and I'm telling you, Sally, you'd love. He's got no shirt on. He won't put his shirt on.
I know.
He's got his sweatpants on, no shirt. He's in there, and he's so damn skinny. He does a little like muscle thing. I'm like, dude, seriously. He would be in the lightweight division, I do believe.
You think?
Yes, Dad would not. Just in case you were wondering.
How about that?
How about you hear this story? A man in Hong Kong who allegedly injured 30 people Saturday by dropping bottles of acid from the rooftop of a building in a pedestrian zone has been arrested. How do you arrive at this point? More than 100 people have been injured since December of 2008 when the random attacks began. In the latest one, 9 tourists and a 7-year-old were treated for injuries. The suspect, who was spotted on a rooftop during the attack, was over kind of a market-type area, is described as a Chinese man in his 30s. I just don't. how do you arrive at the point where how does that make you feel better?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand water balloons and, pranksters.
Well, you're talking pranks, though. I mean, this
dropping
is like
bottles of acid.
bottles
Maybe he
of
misunderstood.
acid?
Let's go drop some acid.
Yeah.
Maybe he just completely misunderstood what his friends wanted to do that weekend.
He really missed that one, didn't he?
Do you think?
Sally, how about this? You're into animals. The unofficial world's oldest living dog is a Cocker Spaniel named Uno. Get this. Well, not that way, Ralph. That's according to a Sherman Oaks, California man who says his Cocker Spaniel turned 22 on New Year's Day. I mean, that is up there. That's about what they say. It's 7 every dog year is a human year. Is that accurate?